On June 17th, Caitlin Clark changed her Instagram handle, replaced her profile picture, and began releasing close views of a basketball shoe Nike wouldn't sell for another 106 days. The shoe was the Caitlin one, her first signature model. Nike set the adult price at $140 and scheduled the racer blue version for October 1st at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. By August 17th, 45 days remained. That's a long retail clock for a product that had already received its full reveal. Nike introduced Clark as a signature athlete on August 25, 2025. The company unveiled her interlocking C logo, described her as a hands-on design partner, and said her first shoe would arrive in 2026. The Caitlin 1 announcement came nearly 10 months later. Its retail release comes another 3.5 months after that. During the gap, every new pair Clark shows can become another part of the campaign. A purple version produces one set of photographs. An Iowa-inspired pair produces another. A neon green version appears and draws comparisons with the famous Grinch color scheme. The shoe returns to social feeds without Nike having to announce the racer blue model again. Those colorways don't carry equal retail status. Nike's United States launch page currently confirms the blue pair. Other versions Clark has worn or shared may be player exclusives, later releases, or samples that never reach stores in their current form. A photograph establishes that the shoe exists. It doesn't establish a release date. The confirmed blue release already gives Nike enough material to explain what it built. Across the upper, the Caitlin 1 uses a new construction called Opticast. Nike describes it as a flexible cast polyurethane material formed into small raised nodes. Those nodes change in height and direction across the shoe, producing the rippled surface visible in close photographs. According to Nike, the construction is lightweight, supportive, and intended to improve movement efficiency. That's the manufacturer's performance description, not an independent laboratory result. The visual effect and the performance claim arrive through the same feature. Opticast makes the Caitlin 1 recognizable before anyone can establish how it performs against another basketball shoe. The pattern also carries Clark's identity. The upper contains molded CC shapes and 22s. From a distance, they form a texture. Up close, they turn the material into a repeated signature. Under the foot, Nike used a more familiar cushioning system. A 4-foot Air Zoom turbo unit sits above a Cushlon foam midsole. The Zoom unit is articulated so it can bend through the front of the shoe, where Nike says it adds spring during step backs. Cushlon runs from heel to toe, while a plate beneath the middle of the foot is intended to provide stability through pivots and changes of direction. The rubber outsole carries a C-inspired traction pattern. Sections have been removed to reduce weight. Nike presents the result as a system built around rapid stops, first steps, and changes of pace. Those are sensible traits to associate with Clark. Her shooting range receives most of the attention, but the shot begins with the space she creates. A defender has to account for a pull-up from well beyond the line, then respond when she attacks the opening that attention produces. Nike's product language follows that sequence through control, step backs, first steps, and sudden stops. The Caitlin 1 doesn't contain a device that produces Clark's range. It contains a conventional basketball cushioning system, a new upper construction, and a group of design choices organized around the way Nike presents her game. The personal details complete that presentation. Two swooshes overlap on the side, referring to Clark's initials and the curve of a three-point arc. Her signature appears on the heel. Her logo sits at the middle of the foot. Both shoes carry the line. It was never a long shot. The left adds, "Shoot more threes." The right reads, "From anywhere." Those phrases could have become ordinary merchandise copy. Placing them on the performance shoe makes them part of the object Clark helped design. Nike isn't selling a generic team sneaker with her name added at the end. It's presenting the model as an interpretation of her movement, shooting range, number, initials, and public identity. At $140, that interpretation becomes a serious performance purchase. Buyers can admire a colorway without spending that amount. Parents shopping for a young player, athletes choosing between models, and collectors following a first signature release face a different decision from someone watching a 7-second shoe clip. The distance between attention and purchase is the part Nike can't settle with another photograph. The company enters this launch while trying to improve the health of its wider product business. Nike reported $46.4 billion in fiscal 2026 revenue. That was flat from the previous year as reported and down 2% after adjusting for currency. During its fourth quarter, Nike direct revenue fell 7%, while Nike brand digital declined 12%. The company's chief financial officer said sell-through remained challenged. Chief executive Elliott Hill pointed to progress in performance products while acknowledging continued pressure on revenue. The Caitlin 1 didn't cause those company-wide results, and one signature release can't repair them. The figures explain why product conversion matters more than online visibility. Nike already knows Clark can draw attention. The commercial test is whether a product carrying her name can move through Nike's channels at full price and support more releases after the first one. The Long-Runway can help. A first signature shoe has more to communicate than a routine color update. Nike has to introduce the silhouette, teach buyers what Opticast means, connect the cushioning system with Clark's game, and establish which details belong to her line. Repeated appearances give the audience time to recognize the shoe before it reaches a shelf. That runway also carries a cost. The master reveal happened in June. By October, close photographs, technical explanations, and multiple colors will have circulated for months. Some viewers may feel they've already experienced the release without ever handling the product. A later colorway can also become more desirable than the blue pair Nike intends to sell first. None of that proves the campaign has exhausted demand. There's no official pre-order total, production count, inventory allocation, or audited sales forecast for the Caitlin 1. View counts don't provide those numbers. Comments asking when a color will release don't provide them either. The October launch will produce clearer evidence. Initial availability will show how much stock Nike prepared, although a quick sellout means little without knowing the quantity. The size range remaining after the first hours will show where demand concentrated. Restocks will indicate whether Nike planned a single scarcity event or a continuing basketball line. Later, retail colorways will answer a different question. Buyers may want one historic first pair, or they may treat the Caitlin 1 as a model worth purchasing repeatedly. Independent wear testing will fill another gap. Nike has explained what Opticast, Air Zoom Turbo, Cushlon, the midfoot plate, and the traction pattern are designed to do. Players still have to establish how those components feel on court, how the upper holds up, and whether the completed shoe works for athletes who don't move like Caitlin Clark. Until then, Nike controls most of the available evidence because Nike designed the product, wrote the performance claims, selected the launch color, and set the clock. Clark supplies the part Nike can't manufacture on its own. Her number is molded into the upper. Her phrases sit underfoot. Her range shaped the visual language. Each unreleased pair she wears keeps the silhouette in circulation while the confirmed version remains out of reach. The campaign has already demonstrated that one shoe can produce several moments. October 1st will establish whether those moments accumulated into demand. Nike's United States launch listing fixes that test at $140 in Racer Blue at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.